And welcome back to the Tea Break Podcast, which we're very proud to run, aren't we, Mike?
Yes.
Thrilled at the moment. It's been an absolute joy. And it's part of the youtube.com/Sofa of Adam, where you can go to find the highest quality content we are capable of making. So go, leave us a comment, ask us a question. We love hearing from all the beautiful people, all of you wonderful, beautiful people and wonderful listeners that keep the channel alive, because without you,
we'll be very bored.
We'd be very bored and there'd be no point. So thank you very much. And we know that we will always do our best to answer as many as we can, and we'll always be reading out the best ones at the end. So without further delay, I am your host Adam, and across the mic from me today we have the legend. That is Mike.
A legend.
A legend.
That's going to grow darker if EA carry on.
The legend of Michael.
I was a hero and then suddenly I became a villain. Just like that.
And it was an overnight transition.
Yeah.
So on to the first segment. Where VR have we been? Where we chat about VR games and what's been on the radar lately. So Mike, where VR have you been?
Tamriel.
Tamriel, tell us, how has your time in Skyrim been?
I have joined a bunch of madmen with swords who transform in the moonlight, and we're having a wonderful time.
Oh, well, that's always fun. I mean,
spend more time actually looking at their wolf armor going, oh wow, look at the detail.
It is incredible, isn't it, considering the downgrade in quality?
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to lie, obviously, you play Skyrim, you do notice that it's not quite at the same level as you're used to on PC. Certainly us, we don't play on a nice PC, but we like to mod.
Yeah.
And it's tricky, but you haven't had any problems, have you? I don't remember you coming out and going, oh, it looked awful.
No.
No, you didn't have any issues.
Again, it's one of those things where it doesn't matter how it looks, as long as it's got, that a rock is in front of you. It doesn't really matter if it's the most graphically straining piece of game you can get.
Yeah, the most beautiful rock on the planet. See, that's actually not the worst example, because I find in a lot of games, what you're looking at is equivalent to like metal and stone and trees, and it doesn't really matter how pretty a tree is. A tree's a tree.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that's me because I don't have it. I can't lie and go, oh, if it was really pretty, I'd be sat here going, God, it doesn't need to be this pretty. But because we don't have it, I feel like getting by without it hasn't been a detriment to it.
Well, again, it's
the same as the one on the Switch.
But again, it's a 2D image, though. I mean, I've played Skyrim for 200, 300 plus hours. And I've never been, I'm immersed in this and I'm playing it and I'm going along. But I've never had a sense of being in the world.
No, it is a completely different experience.
So I don't think graphics in this sort of argument have any justification.
No, I agree. I think that VR is for people who aren't graphic whores.
Yeah.
Basically, if you really, really love 4K and you're all over graphics cards, you have to have as much RAM as possible. You've got a PS4 Pro. I don't
Bully
know.
For you, great.
Bully for you, but I don't know if VR is going to be up your alley. I've always thought that though, because it's something you have to really want, VR, something that you have to have an investment in, because there is an element of like, you go to Skyrim. Yeah, and you step in and you put on the headset. You have to want to be in Skyrim. Whereas a flat game on your telly, you just turn it on and you can just blasé through it. There's some effort in being somewhere that your brain has to physically process. Sound, sight, where you're stood. Suddenly, it's all too real in a way. So the graphics side of it isn't important. I'm all over audio. I'm an audio whore. I cannot get my head around people who don't use. I use really naff headphones.
Yeah.
really, really naff headphones, but they've got really good bass. And I can't understand why some games are made without like proper noises in, because that's where all of the atmosphere comes from.
I was going to say, it's the same with movies. Lots of scenes are broken by the audio.
Yeah, it's a really delicate balance, I find. But actually, is there anything you'd like to add? I mean, is that you done? Sounds like you're done. You look like you're done. I'm going to go on to mine then. Wherever have I been has been a lot of Resident Evil, where I have been astounded by the level and the quality of gameplay.
Still looking for that lab.
Yeah, I'm still looking for that lab. Yeah, where are we in the episodes? We've just I've just gone into the cave.
20s.
Yeah,
because
because I had the next one hasn't been done yet. That's good, because I was just thinking, have I already done the episode, or is it in the future when this podcast comes out? So is it spoilering? It's fine. No, I'm in that cave with the train set. I pushed a cart down a hill. Yay!
But that's all the excitement they're going to give you.
Yeah, I had some balloons and had a small railway section. And that game has just been completely blowing me away at every corner that I go around. Resident Evil is a real masterpiece, not just as a game, but as a VR title. If you've got a VR headset and you're watching or listening this, which you should be, also, something to point out, there will be videos in this trailer, thanks to PSVR Prospect, so do go and check them out, but we'll talk about them at the time. But there will be some videos going on screen at some point, so if you are listening audio only, then you'll just have to go without. But yeah, Resident Evil's been incredible. The sound design is amazing. I love the fact that the music is multi-directional, so there's some really good bits where you walk into a room and sounds are coming from one direction and the music's coming like from a different direction, and you can tell when you go into a game because you can. It's so difficult to put into words. Do you remember when we played Here They Lie?
Yes.
And the first scene of Here They Lie is trying to locate that ringing phone. It puts you, and you're just wandering around. But because you can hear where the phone is in 360, you can locate it really quite quickly. Resident Evil makes such good use of that. It knows that if it puts you in an echoey place and then the sound bounces off the wall, you can hear that. So a lot of the immersion in Resident Evil, I find, is from the sound design. Like, you walk into a wooden building and then you walk and you can hear the reverberation of like the wooden creak and the building, and it completely disorientates you, because when you're outside you're like, oh okay, but it's really quiet, I can hear where monsters are coming from. When you go indoors, it echoes round a corner, so the monster sounds like it's in front of you and you're like, it's not though, I know it's in the room next to me, but sound bounces off the wall. That's amazing. Like, that's nothing to do with just game quality. That's VR design, and it's phenomenal.
One thing I will say 7's got, it's story writing. I mean, I've not played all the Resident Evil, so I can't go, this story is better than that story.
Yeah.
But as a whole, this one, writing-wise, is brilliant.
It
feels very grounded, even though you get a big flesh fungus monster at one point. Right, it's very grounded in its. I want to say it feels like it could happen.
I like the fact that it could happen. I feel like it could happen. Is it set now? Isn't it set next? Is it set 2018, 2017?
About that, 2017.
2016? It came out 2017, didn't it?
I was say, because there was a letter that's email that said 2015 between.
Okay, so it can't be far off of now, but yeah, it did feel very realistic.
Yeah.
They've really nailed. I've said it before on this podcast that the Japanese just seem to have a real effort for making things slightly cartoonish and yet somehow perfectly
Very
grounded. Yeah, something very. They're very good at picking an emotion or picking something real and sticking with it. So they really nail how. I don't know whether they came up with the mould before they came up with the game.
Yeah.
But when you're walking around and there's like black goo on the walls, and the way the mould looks to start with, where you can see it just in paper, the wallpaper. Oh, that looks like mould. It almost was like, that looks like mould because they made mould first, and they were like, well, the whole game wrote this mould because it looks great.
I was going to say the Evelyn character though, she pops up all over the place in Japanese sort of storytelling. This sort of little girl trying to get a family.
No, it's true. There's a lot of that. I mean, I compare it to The Ring.
Yeah.
There are a lot of The Ring elements in Resident Evil 7.
Yeah. I get a vibe from One Missed Call.
One Missed Call. One Missed Call. That's the Japanese horror film.
Yeah,
with
about
the kids on the phone.
About the possessed phone call.
You get a text that says what? No, yeah, you get a missed call. Sorry, it's in the title. You get a missed phone call, and it leaves you a voicemail of the recording of your last few seconds alive.
Yeah,
that was The American one was
awful,
but the Japanese original
one was brilliant.
Absolutely amazing. Really worth seeing.
Had the ringtone.
So that's brilliant. But if you like Resident Evil, there are a lot of really good Japanese horrors that are sort of interwoven into it really nicely. Like you noticed, didn't you? Like the Baker's bit is sort of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Lucas is Saw.
Yeah.
It's blatantly the Saw films. You've got
Marguerite is sort of Invasion of the Body Snatchers type sort of.
Yeah, she is actually. I didn't really see it that way, but you're right. She's just I sort of saw her as just generic spider fear. Generic fear of spiders, insert here. That's her, and I thought she did really well. But yeah, Resident Evil's been what I've been up to, and it continues to melt me.
What I like, especially this one, is taking all the best bits from the decent horrors.
It has. It's really picked and chosen what's good. I mean, again, I hope number 8 will be in some way related to this one. We know it's in VR already. We know they're working on it already. So yay. Whoopee for me. I have to finish this one and its DLC, and then I can walk straight into the next one and just spend the next year shitting myself. I've spent the prior year every other day pooing myself playing that game, and I've got now another year, because as much as I love running the channel, it makes things hard to play. I can't play them whenever I want. I have to play them and record them. There's not enough time in the day to record, edit, and then play them myself. So it's like Skyrim. I haven't actually played Skyrim and not recorded it, so it's a very interesting experience when I play Skyrim. Resident Evil's the same. I enjoy it, but I have to play it sort of full on or not at all.
Yeah.
And that means I've never played it before, I've never seen any of it before, so I'm in a constant state of just
where am I going?
Fear.
Where am I going? Where am I? Who am I?
Do I have parents?
Oh.
You and your Batman video has been good. I've been enjoying those. I did enjoy editing that. You should genuinely be proud of yourself, because you did a really good job.
We should do another one.
I actually quite like you and Todd doing the Batman ones. I don't know what other people think. The viewers know. They'll let us know. They always do. They comment back.
Yeah.
But your videos with Todd on Batman, I prefer to when I do it with you. Not that we're not good together. We have a fantastic rapport, and our videos are great. But you are very, very good with Todd, because Todd prefers that sort of game.
Yeah.
Whereas I genuinely don't like that sort of game. So when I'm playing it, I'm just sort of sat there pointing fun at all the little details, like the gargoyles indoors. But I can get over that if Todd can, so it's more fun for me to then edit it, because I'm always editing anyway, so it's fun to edit something where I'm not there, you and your batarang counters. They're not batarangs, I agree, they don't come back to you. Todd had a point. If you throw it and it doesn't come back to you, it's not a batarang, so technically that counter should have been 1. It should have been 1, because if you throw it, it would come back, so you only need 1 batarang. There's not a batarang.
Technically, they're if you want to be pedantic about it, they're bat shurikens.
They are bat shurikens. It doesn't quite have the same a Vatican. The Vatican. Just sounds Christian. The Bashikan, bat shuri. It doesn't really combine very well.
No.
I could call it the Shuri Mun. Do it the other way around. Batman, Shuri man. He's not a friend of Batman. But I've been really loving that. I have really been loving that. Though it's not it's not really VR related, is it? But it's channel related.
I'd love it if they go on PlayStation 5. We're going to remake that for VR.
It would be good. Well, there is Batman VR.
We got the Spider-Man one.
Oh, fair. I didn't know, because I thought we had to delete it, because I didn't think we had the room. But did you do the Spider-Man one? Did you play that?
No, not yet.
Okay, then we need to get you round to playing that and doing that on the channel. Is that still there? Is it still on the PlayStation? PlayStation is very small on the inside.
I know.
It's not.
I know. I honestly can't remember.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I'll keep an eye out, and we'll re-download that if not, and then you can do an episode on that, and you can freak out about all of how amazing Batman is.
Spider-Man.
Well, Spider-Man, both of them. Batman's. How much is Batman? Like 10, 15 of our British pounds?
It's about 15, I think. I don't know. Without
10, 15 of their American dollars. They're about the same, isn't it?
I think
I've never really understood.
It's about the same now.
Well, when you go into it, but it doesn't matter. When you buy something, the shops tend to put them at the same price anyway, don't they? So if something comes out brand new, like the VR headset, PlayStation VR came out, it was £499, $499, because it's a nice concise number to use across the board. The exchange rate doesn't matter there. So I don't understand that. When you see games on the marketplace, it's like 15 quid. Then you go over and it's $15 because it's a nice round small number. But really, I agree. Surely it should be a fiver, or the other way around, and it should be 20 quid here and a $5. I don't understand, but we will get on getting you Spider-Man and Batman to play, because there's something you can do for yourself. Maybe Todd could do one of them. We'll see.
You probably enjoy Spider-Man more.
Did you see his comment the other day?
No.
He put a first on one of our videos. He was like, first? But you get the notification. No one else cares that much. Well, I suppose if that's covered everything that we VR, wherever have we been, I'm very proud of that. Very, very proud. It's a very clever combination of words and letters to make a thing. So we will be talking about what's coming up soon in the world. Talk for a moment, Mike. I need to find a video.
Games. Things.
Games and things. Well done. Okay, here we go. First, we're going to be talking about what's coming out in February, or at least what is rumoured to come out in February. Because as far as I can tell, not many of these have release dates, and the ones that we do have release dates for keep moving. So I've decided to skip those. And also, most of our information is coming off of PlayStation Prospect.
So if any of this turns out wrong, blame them.
Yeah, blame them if any of it's wrong. I really like their channel, his channel. Their channel is great. We get all our information from there. That he does fantastic work on getting these videos together. He does one on what's coming out each month. It's where we watch, isn't it? And we get a lot of our information from there. I comment a lot, and it's great and he comments back, and I just wanted to give a shout out to him because, as a podcast, I feel that we should really spread the love of anyone that we can get on our side to go and visit other people. Because they do good work, and the more people that are seeing more stuff on PlayStation VR and VR in general, the better for all of us. So, without further ado, what's coming out in February? For starters, from Sony VR Pictures, which is really embarrassing for them, we've got the Jumanji VR experience.
Who is this for?
I don't know.
This is obviously a cash tie-in for the film, right?
I don't know.
The film is basically aimed at 7-year-olds. How can you get 7-year-olds to play something that's meant by law with a disclaimer that says you've got to be 12 years old and plus?
Just look at it. Just look at it, though.
It looks like a bad serial game from the 90s.
It looks so bad. This isn't like a bad VR game. This is just diabolical. This sort of thing shouldn't be on the market. Working at PlayStation at the moment, and they were saying, the game's all ready to go. We're just waiting for it to go through development. We're waiting for it to get the green light. And then there are games like this that are getting the green light almost immediately. And do you know what? We're not going to talk about them anymore, because Jumanji VR experience doesn't deserve our time.
No.
It really doesn't. So we're going to move straight on to the drunken bar fight, which does look more fun.
It looks fun, but you can only have so much fun smashing someone's face in.
It's true. I don't know. Again, graphically, I know we've all been sat here just talking together about how much graphics don't matter, but there is a limit, and I think a few games are really trying to push that limit. They've just got ideas that they're throwing together. Not that I'm going to say that no one wants this. I'm not going to sit here and go, it's a bad game. But it doesn't look like a very good game. I feel like a year in, we'd have a real fighting game by now.
Yeah, by now I was expecting like the Mortal Kombat
do you know what I mean,
experience or something.
I feel disappointed that some of these games are coming through, but I can't really moan. They're coming through, and at least these companies are working on it. So that for me, all on its own, is a plus. So well done to I'm going to find out who they're called. What are they called? The Monkey. Well done to the Monkey for actually developing it at all.
I think it's the Nerdy Monkey or the
Is it the Nerd Monkey? It's a very confusing logo. And they haven't matched the white with the white background, so it looks like it's on a sort of cream square. How disappointing. But well done to you guys for actually putting a game together. I really hope that your next game, you really learn from all these experiences and we see something amazing. Because, all these little companies that are coming forward need to stick with it for us to get anywhere. I mean, we've got Windlands 2 to talk about later, which I'm quite pleased with. So, moving swiftly on to Happy Drummer by Illusion or Legion. Funny spelling. I think it's a French company.
If you enjoy rhythm games...
Do you have to enjoy rhythm games for this? I assume so.
Or drumming, at least.
Drumming, yeah. I mean, it's not my thing either. There are games coming out later in the year, like you got Beat Saber, and that really looks like my sort of thing, but this doesn't. Again, maybe this is marketed at 5-year-olds, but you shouldn't be in a headset if you're 5.
Yeah.
So I get a bit confused on, like you say, who is this for? It can't have been it looks like it's aimed at children, or everything's pink and neon and colourful. I'm like, I don't follow. But then again, I suppose
it's not for us.
It's not for us. Beat Saber is all very reds and blacks, and I just don't know who this is for.
Yeah.
If you like the look of having, a drumming game, if you've been sat there since Donkey Kong,
going, I really need a drumming game.
Yeah, you've heard that game. What was it? The drumming. There were the two drums. Bongo. Yes. If you remember the bongo craze games of the 90s, and you've been sat there going, "Good God! If only there was a VR game, I would run out and buy a Vive." Then this game might be something to try, just to make sure this is really what you wanted from life. But I'd be disappointed myself. But next we have the Pop-Up Pilgrims, which is something you were more interested in, weren't you?
Yeah, it reminds me of like a new version of Lemmings, sort of.
I think it is, and don't quote me on this, even though I'm doing it on a podcast, kind of the point. But I think the Lemmings was originally called Pilgrims, but they couldn't, or for some reason it wasn't allowed. It was a funny time period. They just didn't. They changed the name. So I think this is a clever idea on sort of going, let's give 3-4 layers, like you say, and then you can have pilgrims that are walking in a straight line, jumping 2D layers forwards and backwards. I kind of like the art style, 8-bit, 2D.
Feudal Japan.
Yeah, it does look very feudal Japan, actually. You're very right. It's a very colourful game. I don't know how much love I'm going to get out of it. Do you? I mean, would you enjoy this?
Well, by the name, it suggests walk to a end of a course, and then you built a settlement. But I knew very little.
I don't think it is. It is just guiding from A to B. But I mean, would you play this for money on the store?
Maybe not in VR.
No, this is my problem. I don't think personally it looks like my thing.
If you went, this is on the mobile app store.
Yeah. If you're a casual player and you've got a wife or some kids or a boyfriend who's not that interested in VR and you want to give them something fun that they can get their head around where you sit still, this might be perfect. Some of these games are very good for breaking people in, but this game, Pilgrims, much higher quality of game. Like it's not pretty, but they finished it. The look is good. I think you're sat in like a curve. You've got it curved around you.
Sort of like a tapestry.
Yes, it's like a tapestry of 8-bit movement, which I like. It's sharp, pretty, good gameplay. So if you want someone to get into VR that doesn't like it, this is probably the place to start, rather than some of the other things coming up. Well, no, Skyrim's beautiful, but there are other indie games like Jumanji that I wouldn't recommend because they look so bad and the gameplay is so bad that have a go at this, you might like it because you like Jumanji but you hate VR. They won't like it anymore because you've shown them those two things together. It's just a poor example of VR gameplay, but meh. Up next we have from Darko. What did I say? Is that not the same people? Oh no, it's not. Never mind. Sin Studio presents The Perfect Sniper. This is something I know a lot of people have been looking forwards to because it uses the aim controller, the move controllers, whichever you like, and this is full on. You are a sniper. I think you are moving as well. So I call it a rail shooter, but it's a rail shooter in the best possible sense because you can look out the door of the car. There are parts where you're just driving down the street and you can hear people talking because you're just driving to your destination. So it looks like there's a lot of fun to be had with it at night time and in the rain, and you're just being a sniper. I think you're an assassin, to be honest. Looks like fun.
It kind of reminds me of stuff like Super Hot, but GTA.
GTA Super Hot, I suppose. I don't think people are shooting at you, which I guess is a bit of a letdown. I don't know. You can't really have a health bar. I'm guessing it'll all be timers. It kind of reminds me of Ultra Wings, but with a gun, if you know what I mean. It has a sort of... You're going to move around a lot, and you're going to use this gun in the same way that Ultra Wings is sort of, you're going to move around a lot, and you're going to fly this plane, and it's just going to be really basic. There's no health bar, you can't get hurt, you're just going to do the one thing. So if you like sniping, that's probably going to be something on your radar. You're going to want to keep your eye out for that. Next up, we have Sprint Vector, which is definitely much more interesting on our radar than anything else is at the moment.
I don't know how.
This is due for February 13th, by the way. We have a date for this one. It's not long, actually.
No.
It's like 10 days away.
I've got one concern about this. It's like I've played other games where you've got locomotion movement, right? I wonder, because you're basically running in a race, how motion blur and things be affected? Or?
Yeah, I'm not sure how it looks. From what I've seen from the gameplay that we're looking at now, it looks good. It looks sharp. I don't think there is any motion blur. I think they've just used like fire effects and electric effects to sort of stretch the screen out and put loads of lines on it, so you can tell which way you're going, which works really well because that's what they do in Megaton Rainfall. You've got all the anime lines of movement, and that is fantastic for working out which way you're going. In this, you run on the spot, though, and I don't know how much I like that. Personally, running on the spot is not how I envision myself running in VR. And other people would go, oh, what you want is like one of those walking on the spot pads. Like, what's it called?
The Omni
Ring. I'm completely against Omni Rings, personally, because they're not cool and they don't work, but I think that it's... If you were to have it in Skyrim, you would walk from one end of the map to the other. Excellent. Omni Ring's going to be amazing. When you have to sit down, do a quest, open a door, sit on a horse, any cutscene bit where you get your head cut, all of that would be useless, and you wouldn't be able to use your Omni Ring because you'd just be like, I'm going to sit down. Well, the game's... I can't because I'm in an Omni Ring. And it's like, well, just... And I'm not sure about this either. Sprint Vector. I'm like, how are you going to run? And they're like, well, you move your arms backwards and forwards. And I'm like, I don't know if that's better. I'm all right with it because what else are you going to do? But part of me is going, I don't know if I want to stand on the spot and just wave my arms around. But I don't know how they've done it. I'm assuming there's going to be like a timing thing to it. So it's moving your arms at a set speed. And that generates and gets you to go faster and faster each time you get it right.
Yeah.
That would be fine. If it's flail movement and the amount of movement you do makes you go faster, that'll be very difficult to actually do. But if you're like pulling on a rope, if you see what I mean, it's like forwards, backwards, and it's like a flowing motion of like, to get you moving. I'd be okay with that. That would be much better. And it does look like there's a degree of flying involved as well, with the sort of putting your arms forwards and all of that. So that could be great. Yeah, all of the jumps. Exactly. Apex Construction is next. Meh to Apex Construction, I say, because it's a head floating in the air that has the voice of Ultron telling you to shoot the bits that look like they've been stolen from Recore off of Xbox.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. But it's from Fast Travel Games. They've done a good job. It's very pretty. I like the look of it. I feel bad for the artist because they've put a lot of work into making this whole world and everything look really fleshed out. The animations are good. But it is just a bow and arrow game.
But that dog does look like the dog from Recore.
It really does. A lot of the assets look unbelievably Recore-ish. I do like the fact. Must stop saying that. I do like the fact. I enjoy playing games which have the same gameplay elements as Job Simulator, where you get to pull switches and move around fuses and stuff. I don't like the way that it's sort of jimmied into a lot of games, and this is another one where every now and then it breaks up gameplay by going, put a fuse in this wall and type on a keyboard. And I'm like, yeah, but you're only doing that if your core gameplay isn't good enough that it stands up by itself. I feel like you should concentrate more on that. You should get the player moving more. You should maybe give them more weapons and things. You don't really want to break up gameplay by just giving you other things to do in VR. It's a very jarring experience as it is. You want to keep the flow going. Things that have been ported, like Skyrim, only get away with it because you already know how the game works. But if you're trying to navigate a load of menus and things, and then suddenly the game's like, you're shooting arrows, you go, and now we're going to have you in a lift, and you're going to swap some things around a room. But I was shooting, I just want to keep shooting. I bought this game to shoot. But this isn't for me to judge. Yes. February 22nd in Japan, we've got Summer Lesson, the 3-in-1 game pack. And I remember talking about this on the first podcast we did?
I remember when it was announced.
Yeah, I know. I was really excited. Basically, all in Japanese, unless you know a bit of Japanese like I do, you probably won't be able to get by with it. But I don't know if it's coming to England. I damn hope it is. But you just have to go and teach a girl English, I think. Well, you teach her. I think you're teaching English as one of them. The other one's guitar, and the other one's songwriting, I think. It's all music based as far as I'm aware, so it's all like singing, teaching a girl to sing, and it is basically just the anime porn dream. I think that's all it is. It's just
dating.
you're dating a girl who is at school by the looks of it, and she's in her school uniform, and she's got a guitar, and obviously everybody in Japan's all over it. So maybe one day that will make its way over here, and we can all laugh, and we can all sit and try and teach them whatever it is we're supposed to teach them properly. I hope it comes over here, because I want to do it and laugh. She'll go, oh, may I lean forwards towards you? And she'll lean over, giving a good view. And I'll be like, excuse me, I'm trying to teach you. It does look a little bit dodgy, and I really hope that it comes over.
I hope you could play it like that.
Because I'll just be laugh. It will just make me laugh. This is just out of order. This is not the way to behave. I'm leaving.
Do you believe that's an appropriate outfit to be wearing?
It's appropriate. You did know I was coming. I am your teacher. So there is some of that to be excited about, maybe. I mean, it comes out in Japan. We can only hope for an American and UK release dates soon.
Yeah.
Speaking of America, a game which I didn't think I was going to like. I heard about this at E3, and then again we've seen the pre-alpha stealth work. Well, the pre-alpha stealth work. The pre-alpha PAX West 2016 beta test, and it looks really funny, and it's called The American Dream. And it comes out February 23rd in the EU, because it's not an American game, which is ironic, because I really thought it was. I thought some Americans had sat down and gone, we'll do a really funny game about guns.
Yeah.
Literally, the whole game is you have a gun in each hand, and what we're looking at right now on screen is you're a toddler in a cot. And it's going, here's some numbers, add them together, and you've got to shoot the answers, shoot the number 2. And it's like, well done, kiddo, because you're being trained in all the great things you can do with your gun in America. Like, your gun is useful for everything from making a cup of tea to doing a barbecue to answering questions, and that's the point. And it does look kind of funny. I think they've really nailed
the irony.
Yeah, the ironic comedy of it. But again, I'd argue that that is concise. They know what they're doing. They're going, we're going to do a shooting game. So we're going to stick them on a rail. Let's make the rail really obvious and tell them that they're on a rail and they're going through a load of shooting ranges. They haven't lied to the player. They've been very open. It looks like it will probably sell well because you're playing it, and in the trailer you can see exactly what you're getting. And it doesn't split up that gameplay and go and now do something else. This is clever. They've gone, here's a gun. We're going to think of every gameplay mechanic possible to do with a gun and put it in a game and just theme the whole lot around this cartoony idea. It works. So it could actually be quite funny for a rail shooter, which I'm normally against as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, last rail shooter I played was...
I lean forward, it's very quiet, not even coming up halfway.
Last rail shooter I played was a vampire one back in the arcade.
Oh, what? You mean on an arcade cabinet?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay, like Day of the Dead and things like that.
Yeah,
Blimey,
it was the last rail shooter I played.
No, there is Rush of Blood, which everybody's over the moon for. We're not so happy, but we're very difficult to please. We're angry British people.
We know what we want.
We know what we want, and we'll get it. Damn, oh, God. You hear that? I bet they heard that on the microphone. So I was clicking a knuckle, and it was very loud, very painful. Me trying to seem hard. Click my knuckle. Ow, my knuckle! But that does look like fun. Well, we're moving swiftly on. But if you like a good rail shooter, you should keep your eye out to get American Dream. But next up, Moss, which rumoured for February 27th. But I don't know. I keep hearing all sorts of things about delays and stuff, so who knows? But Polyarc put this one together. We all know about this. I don't think there's any game that you're not aware of. No. But Polyarc have been doing Moss. It's your platformer, but you aren't playing the main character. There's this little mouse, and he runs around. He, she, I'm not actually sure. Might be a she, actually. I think it is a she. I think Moss is a girl. Female protagonist. I'm going to stick with that and look it up later and find out I'm wrong. But there's like a leaf thing going on with her hand, and the whole idea of it is you've just got to guide them as a sort of god through the arena and through these courses and up trees.
Kind of like a gauntlet, that glove
What, that Moss has?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's like a leaf gauntlet. I don't know if that means that she's been cursed, or if that's what she's trying to get rid of, or if it's like a power-up. But yeah, you just play a sort of god. It's a wonderful bit here where you see your reflection in the water, and I'm like, oh, that's a great way of doing it. I don't know how good it will be, though, because, without controlling the main character, I am curious how much fun there is to be had in spinning around objects. But on the flip side, it might be right up your alley. I think you'd like it a lot.
I think I will like this one.
Because you'll have a lot of fun with just the characters. You like a good story to get your teeth into, and I'm really hoping that this is going to be that. It looks a bit like Journey to me.
Yeah.
It's Journey with a mouse.
And
I really hope that it is Journey with a mouse as well. Like, that would be amazing. Imagine Journey in VR. Like Journey 2 VR, the Reckoning.
they won't do that.
Journey to the Reckoning. Sudden, all the stars have fallen and turned evil. Must find the blankets and kill them. It's just like, no, the blanket warrior has betrayed us. Anyway, moving swiftly on from Moss, which we all know plenty about. We've got Blasters of the Universe,
Which is out the same day, apparently.
It is out the same day. This one's actually September. That's not happening. February 27th. Not so happy about this one myself. This is your rail shooter in the most basic form. They call it a bullet hell. I think it might be multiplayer, but I doubt it. It doesn't look like a bullet hell. It looks like lots of different shapes are being thrown at you and you just have to block them with a shield. Technically, a bullet hell. I'd also call that a rail shooter in VR, because there's no difference. There isn't a difference between shooting with your hand and defending yourself and being shot and defending yourself. It's the same. It's bullets flying to and fro your character, and if it hits you, you die. That would, I could technically call Super Hot a bullet hell. Because there's lots of things coming at you from different actions, and you have a frying pan and a gun.
But that's a puzzle.
Kind of, but that's all this is. I think that's all this is. It's just it's Super Hot. It's a frying pan in one hand and a gun in the other hand, and you've got to somehow get through it all. And I dislike the voice acting. It seems a bit weird to me. It seems a bit off. But bright and colourful, probably going to be cheap. Another game that somebody that likes shooters might really enjoy if you've got nothing else to play. Because I played Thumper to try and get hold of my music rhythm game VR urge. And I couldn't, which is why I'm waiting for Beat Saber. This might be your bullet hell game. If you've been sat at home waiting for a bullet hell and you're like, I really just want to defend myself and have come flying at me from all directions and really enjoy that.
By Doom.
By Doom. Yeah, by Doom. But this also might tickle that itch for on the cheap anyway. However, moving swiftly on in the way that we Brits do on the fly, without any warning whatsoever, almost as if we've gone away and had a cup of tea and come back.
Yeah.
It's almost as if a long podcast requires a cup of tea halfway through. But we are moving on to what's coming up in development, because again, there's so many good videos out there, and a lot of them come from PlayStation Prospect. And we will be doing quite a few videos on them, and we will be linking to them at the end. And they haven't asked us to do this, we just genuinely like their videos. And one of them that they did recently was things that are coming up, and that, along with some stuff that we want to talk about, we threw them all together into a very nice, concise list. So, first one, which I am so happy to talk about, is Beat Saber. I don't know where this has come from. I believe it's French when I looked it up. It's a French company, and they obviously like lightsabers, and they, like me, thought that Thumper didn't have any music in it. Lots of people have been really annoyed with me when I said that, actually. There were comments. There were some people going, Thumper had amazing music. I'm like, are you joking? You hated it, didn't you?
I don't like rhythm games.
You don't like dance music anyway. Well, you do like rhythm games. If that bongo drum game would probably be more up your alley, because it's just fun music. It's not a genre. But it's like if they did a Queen, because you like the Queen music, don't you?
The band Queen.
Yeah,
yes.
Queen. Yeah, the band Queen. Thank you, Adam. Yes. They have it's their name. It's not exactly the genre, but fine. So, yeah, you like the band Queen. So it'd be like if they did that in VR, But I feel like Beat Saber is my rhythm game. It's dance music. It's a little bit dubsteppy. I'm not a massive fan of dubstep, but as a techno dance person, I feel that it did wonders for the genre as a whole.
I look at this and I die a little inside when I see it.
Why?
It's lightsabers, but there's no force. There's no little green man jumping around.
Oh, because it's got lightsabers in it. Yeah.
Where's my lightsaber VR?
I think they've very cleverly just done light sticks and gone saber. It's a saber, nothing more. It's not a lightsaber. It's a beat saber. But I just like the idea of dancing. To be honest, in VR, there's something really alluring about that because no one likes dancing. I mean, I'm the first person to say no one wants to dance. I will dance if it involves in VR. I don't know how to put it. You know those rhythm games from the 90s and beforehand.
Dance
mats, and all of that where you were pressing something. Now I get to do it with my hands, and I don't know why I'm so happy about it, but I am. It's better than Thumper.
You know what? No, sorry. I was just thinking.
Silence.
Sorry, I was just thinking about movement, and then I was suddenly inspired by the dance mat.
Have that in VR?
Yeah, it's like a movement,
as well.
Just like not necessarily a dance mat, but like a movement pad you sort of stand on, and not necessarily hoisted into a ring.
Yeah.
Because
it's a bit weird actually. I've never thought about that. Just having a button in front of you on the floor that you press with your foot to walk forwards. No, that'd be really horrible. You wouldn't be able to do that very quickly. You couldn't do that.
No,
that wouldn't work for Skyrim, but for dancing,
yeah,
just as a dance mat, I'm almost okay with that. I don't know if PlayStation brought out a PSVR dance mat. I don't know how I'd feel, but at the same time, I don't know if I wouldn't buy it. Now you've said that, I feel a little bit guilty. But if it was this game, I'd want it. God, it looks so much fun. I'm going to show you as much of the music as I can without being demonetised. And that's all you get because I want to keep I like having the channel open. So that looks really good. So and again, I just think that's going to be superb. Next up on our list of things coming is Day of Destruction.
I'm looking forward to it mainly to see.
You're not.
No,
don't take the piss.
To see what it looks like at the end of development.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Well, now you've taken all the wind out of my sails because I was just going to say this looks awful. But I suppose it's in development. You have a point. I shouldn't be so judgmental. But it's Megaton Rainfall, but not quite as pretty, which is really saying something. But Megaton Rainfall works because you can fly and it's all you. In this, you're static.
It's a galley shooter.
It's another rail shooter. There are too many of these. I think anybody making a game who sits down and goes, what are we going to make? What are we going to make? How about if the word rail and shooter come up in the development room, you should stop what you're doing and go and
slap that person.
Slap them and go, no. Don't be so... Literally, it should be happening right now. I don't know how this doesn't happen at Sony when things come through to the PSN net. I go, is it a rail shooter? Is it for VR? Then I think we have enough. Like, I think there's enough of those, and it's such low quality that I feel like it's doing an injustice to other games.
Kind of reminds me of like the first Deus Ex. Like in terms of its visuals, it reminds me of
it looks like a PS1 game, if that's what you mean. Like this shot here of the actual ring, the big round mothership that is about as round as a 50p coin. It literally, I don't know what's not round in dollars. Are they or are all their coins round?
I don't know.
Is it just us that have like hexagons? And fair enough, never mind. Well, in England we have a coin and it's like a hexagon or a dodecahedron. I think it's a dodecahedron because I think it's got 1, 2, 50. I can find one. I can't be bothered to search for one. But yeah, and this looks like that. It's not round. It's got loads of really, really quite harsh edges to it. And I'm a bit annoyed, but
it does look like a 50p.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? But you're right. It's in development. It could be good. You never know.
No.
I mean, there's always a chance that we'll get something decent out of this. If you're more into boxing, though, there's not really a way to tie these two together.
No.
But you also like Aliens, and you also like terrible games that look like they shouldn't be here yet. Here's another one. And this one is called Boxing Apocalypse, where you're given...
bottom of the barrel.
Really bottom of the barrel graphics here again, where you're stood in an empty void, and I really hope that they're going to improve... It's another rail shooter in my opinion. It's a boxing shooter, really, because things are walking up to you and then you have to hit them. But I don't know whether it looks that good, really. It's coming over from PC, and I don't want to knock PC. Steam's amazing. I love Steam. I love the innovation that you get out of indie games. I think that there's nothing better than just having a flood of all games than trying to see which ones are best. Because things like Undertale would probably never have been popular without the sort of indie market and allowing these sorts of games to come through. But again, I feel like there's just a limit somewhere that you've got to draw, and this is below that limit.
Yeah, when is it going to be a new game release? But it's just the same thing again. Well, to be fair, we're already at that stage.
I was going to say, we're already at that stage. For some reason, that's happened really soon. So we're going to move on again and get this one out of the way. Contagion VR Outbreak is the next game from Monochrome. It's okay. It's in the Unreal Engine.
It's a cartoony... From what I've seen of gameplay trailers and that, it's a cartoony Resident Evil.
Kind of, I think so.
In the sense you're shooting zombies, but it's all sort of whimsical.
It's a bit more whimsical. I would have said more Day of the Dead, because I see what you mean. It's a classic zombie is more the point, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's classic zombies, and you're in a building, and it looks like they're all coming at you. So I would call it it's a bit like Zombies Mode from COD, really, but it's a very job simulatory version of it. I have seen some actual gameplay other than the trailer, and it looked more fun in the gameplay that I saw, because there was running around the house and finding things and using them, and it looked like a more full-fledged game where you might play it a few times over and with your mates and go, now you try and see how far you can get in the house.
One of them.
Yeah, it looks like that sort of game, a good repetitive game loop, which is always amazing. But I'm still not 100% sure if it's something that I'll personally enjoy, because I'm really difficult to please, if you didn't know and hadn't noticed on the channel already, to be honest. And next on my list of things difficult to please me is Dragon Blast VR, where, you described it as a Crash Bandicoot with a dragon, which I wholeheartedly hold against you.
In the sense, you're just running, in this game you're flying. It's in a straight line.
It's that bit of Crash Bandicoot where you're just running away
the main gameplay.
Yeah, no, but there are other sections where you can only run, aren't there? Where you're being chased.
Oh yeah,
yeah, those running bits.
From.
Or what was the Great Wall? Is a famous bit where you have the tiger. Yeah, it's like a whole game of that with a dragon. Except again, I don't know how much it could be fleshed out.
If this was going to be a mobile game, then I'd be like, okay,
I'll get this. Yeah,
I can see this.
I don't know how you're going to control it. You're going to use Move controllers, because if you use a Move controller, I don't know if I'll be too happy about it. And from the gameplay that I've seen, it doesn't look that easy to control either.
Well, in the video itself, I think it does show Vive controllers.
So it will be Move controllers, which is even more confusing.
Because if you see
yeah, that's true. So it is a Move controller thing when we get it. Interesting. I'm still not sure. I look at it and I think there could be more to it. I hope that, like Journey.
Yeah.
It had lots of swooping, curving bits where you'd be skidding down a mountain. I feel like this could really benefit from that. It looks like going in a straight line, and you're dodging things and you're shooting at things. And I really hope that in other levels it opens up and becomes a really interesting game. Because it is in development. Shooter. Yeah, but there are games like this which worked that weren't so boring. I suppose, point blank, like this could be really interesting if it's got a good storyline and it's changing speed, and there are what are those games? I said 1984 earlier when we were watching the trailer, and I'm 90% sure that is the game. But it's like a 8-bit game from above, and you've got the plane, and you're constantly flying up, and you're just shooting. This is basically that with a dragon in 3D, and that game was good though, because you had different sizes and you had to dodge things and it changed speed, and there'd be these bits where it would zoom in and the ocean would rush past. I feel like this is basically a single speed version. It's a very lazy version. If it was like zooming out and you were moving through the city, but it's just a dead straight corridor of buildings with things to dodge and things to hit. But like you say, it's in development, and we can only hope that it would improve over time, and that when it gets to us and over onto PSVR, it will be something really impressive that we'll really want to play.
Remain hopeful.
Remain hopeful for that one. Do you want to do this one?
Gloves of Glory.
Yeah.
Listen, if you like boxing, this is for you. Why did you give me the sports one?
I don't know, it was the next one that came up, and I thought, oh, you know the title, it's on screen. It should have come out at the beginning of the PlayStation VR's life cycle. A lot of these games, I think, should be out already.
I agree.
That's all I can say that I'm seeing in a lot of games today on the marketplace.
I was going to say, especially with like what's in develop, what's being released.
Yeah, what's coming is almost not as good as what is like out now, and that sounds weird, but I always expect the next thing I see in development to be an improvement on what I'm playing now.
Yeah.
This has elements like, again, I keep saying this, but this game should be entirely about boxing. But because they haven't got a very good engine and they can only generate hands, they've tried to do cutscenes with these characters and they just look plastic as all hell. They look awful and the voice acting's not good.
And
it's
the
like,
animations.
if you really love it, just get one of the game designers to go and do some voice acting. Get someone who's making the game, who's really into it, to just do really cartoonish, over the top. Don't try to do it too serious because it's not possible. It's a really difficult and jarring experience. I'll put a clip in of this guy talking because it's.
The animations here are painful.
Hey sir, you turn and punch man. It's just bizarre, but if you like punching and things, this might be for you. Moving swiftly on to the inexplicable deaths in Diepolis.
It reminds me of that Bendy game we saw.
Oh. Yeah,
thing.
Ink, Bendy, whatever it was. Yeah, it has the same look as that. It's a cartoony. Everything's got a big thick line around it, and it's always the whole thing looks like a cartoon. Is the idea? So there's like a filter over the eyes, over your lens. Your eyes themselves have that sort of flicker of a black and white movie.
Mm.
I like the look of it.
This
one looks more interesting to me. It looks like a sort of a good black and white. I don't want to say a horror. Noir story. Very good, very good. But it's got lots of characters, it's all puzzles, and you've got to find loads and loads of letters, which makes me think of Resident Evil and things like that, because I don't really like collecting books. Collectathon games, really. But this could work because it looks like it's all about the story, and I'm really up for having a good story to get my teeth into.
And the art style makes it a bit more intriguing for the whole sort of mystery element to it.
Yeah, it does actually. I completely agree. They've really nailed the aesthetic of a noir cartoon. It looks how I expected it to look, and that's a good thing. And it's all based around art and the sort of dummies that you get to draw on. I mean, you know, because you can see the trailer, but for those audio listeners, if you get those dummies which are semi-posable, made of wood, all wooden joints with a sort of carved face that's just a spike, basically, the whole game seems to be orientated around those being everywhere as statues, and the pictures and the puzzles and the paintings on the wall are all representations of real paintings, but with a dummy in place of the person. So the Mona Lisa is like a dummy in that exact position with the hair, but no face, which is a good look for something like this, and saves having to draw faces. Clever use of a bit of design there. They're probably really pleased with themselves, but I'm really curious to what this one is about. Oh, inexplicable death in Dampopolis, whatever, but it says Inner Thoughts at the bottom. I don't know if that's who made it or if that's clever, because it's Inner Thoughts.
A very clever subtitle.
That's a very clever way of using the subtitle. There'll be a picture of that on screen for the video listeners. Moving swiftly on, though. Naked Sun, is that next? Yeah, yes. Naked Sun. This game made me really, really want it. When I first saw the trailer for Naked Sun, I was thrilled, because it literally looks beautiful. I love the art style. It's got like ribbon roads. Oh, if you've ever played Wipeout, any of them, the road is made of glass in some bits of Wipeout. Again, you've played it, but for the people at home who obviously know Wipeout, because any good PlayStation player will probably have played Wipeout in their lives, but the sort of glass ribbon roads, or what you get in Portal.
I was going to say the light bridges.
Yeah, all the light bridges. It's just a road network in a posh city in the future, and you've got these ribbons of glass going around you, and you're driving along them. So I kind of guessed it might be some sort of rail shooter, but sadly, it's a full-on rail shooter. But good God, do I want this company to, whoever's making this, go on, and your next game, don't make it a rail shooter, but keep this art style, keep this look. I want to come back to this city in a different way. It looks so cool. I really like the light bridge monorail thing. I really do. I really like that idea. It's something I'd like to see in VR.
When
really
are we
smooth travel and.
When are we going to get our Mirror's Edge VR?
Mirror's Edge would also be a good one. Well, is that not just Sprint Vector? Sprint Vector is basically Mirror's Edge, but without, not quite.
Well, Sprint
Be
Vector's
nice.
the racing game.
Yeah, I mean, there's bits of that, it's parkour. But it'd be nice. Maybe one day we might get Mirror's Edge remade in VR. That'd be quite cool, actually.
Because that's
I'd
all
like
that
to
reminds me of when I look at that.
I'd like to see Mirror's Edge 1 VR remake. That would be bizarre and brilliant. Or maybe just skip to number 2, if possible. They're not that different, really,
No,
but number 2 is better.
Soft reboot.
I didn't really like number 1 anyway, but it was great just for its concept, for trying something new and different at the time. I loved it just for that. But I hated the gameplay. It was really difficult and really awful and janky. But number 2 was certainly more likeable, and in VR I'd probably even finish it. I might even get past where I got last time, but that would be nice, you're right. We've got another one coming up now called Neon, which is a good arcade classic. But apparently, but it's another rail shooter. I'm going to skip this one. I don't care. Don't care. I'm not going to give the time to them. There's too many rail shooters and I'm sick of them. Ah, it's a long. We've got Fruit Attacks VR, which is another...
A mobile game.
It looks like a mobile game. Is it a mobile game?
I don't know, but
it looks like a mobile game. You're just shooting at things as they come towards you. And
it's Angry Birds with...
It's Angry Birds, but you get... I don't know if I agree with you now. I jumped on that bandwagon too soon.
You're launching at things that are coming towards you.
Yeah, I suppose I'd say it's a bullet hell because there's groups of dots flying towards you and you have to defend yourself from them. But I don't want to give it any more screen time than it deserves. So we're going to move on to 3 games which I genuinely want and I'm pleased to talk about. And the first one is The Works of Mercy, which is all done in the Unreal. And God, can you tell?
Yeah.
It is lifelike. It looks like those beautiful lifelike rooms that you see when they're showing off the Unreal Engine. It won't quite look like this in PSVR, but the downscaling from this won't take too much off of it. Be like Resident Evil.
Looks like someone's made a mod for Fallout. Just looked at that sort of speech text box.
Oh, what with the the writing? It does
sort
look
of
really
going, like realistic Fallout mod.
Yeah, it does have a funny look to it. The text on screen, because when you pick, it's all about talking, and as far as we can tell from the trailer and the small bits of gameplay that we've found, your name is Eugene, you wake up, your wife and daughter are gone, they've been kidnapped, you get a phone call, and the phone call is a guy going, I've got your wife and daughter, kill some people for me and I will let them go.
It's
and
essentially a very simplised Saw game.
I think so, and then you've got to go and do... I think you've got to go and murder people. You've got to become an assassin, I think is the idea. But I do like the look of it. It looks pretty, it looks fun, it looks like they've really gone to town on getting it all to run properly. I like the fact that, like you were saying, it comes up with text at the bottom and you can pick what to say back. No voice control, but we can only hope one day.
Yeah, give them time.
We can only give them time. I mean, The Impatient gave it a go, but... yeah. We'll talk about that another time, The Impatient. I want to have a proper go at it first, before I judge it, really. But I haven't heard good things from other VR players thus far on The Impatient. But enough of that. This is what we're talking about, and The Works of Mercy is something to go and look up in your own time, I think. Go and find the trailer, though it is playing on screen silently, because of monetization. Don't want to play music any more than I have to, no matter what it's in, unless we can get away with it. Because I did that in one of our first podcasts. I put in the whole trailer for something, and the game maker was like, oh, you can't do that. I was like, but we're advertising for you, surely. But they were like, no, you just can't have the audio. Just play the video silently. I was like, oh, surely that's beside the point, though. Then they just can't hear your game. Surely it just doesn't help. But either way, if that's what they want, that's what we'll do. But
that's odd. This AAA game's got no audio.
Well, yeah, you think. That's what I always thought. But this is another game that looks a lot of fun. It looks very pretty. It kind of reminds me more of Allison Road. Everyone that saw the trailer...
PT just then.
Yeah, it's PT and Allison Road. It has that kind of prettiness to it, that level of fidelity and graphical beauty. Moving to the last 2 that I'm really happy to talk about, because I contacted the developers on both of these games and they both gave me a few good answers. So first, Windlands 2. Who said... A, they're Windlands 2ing, they're making a Windlands 2, It's multiplayer. You get a crossbow, basically a crossbow with one hand, or I don't know, both hands. From what I saw, one hand, and it just looks like an absolute blast.
That's good.
I cannot wait.
They carry on with it. Do you know if it's just going to be swing to point A to point B like the first one, or is it going to be more RPG like?
It's, as far as I can tell, they are going more story heavy because there's a bit where you're on a boat.
Oh.
And it's like a ship, but it's going through the clouds, so it's swooping around, and then you've got to be attacking a sort of giant flying dragon worm thing that's going around the ship and alongside it.
Oh, they are going ambitious.
Yes, so I think you might have to sort of swing from the ship onto it while both are moving, and you'll have your mate on the ship who might be driving. I kind of assume not. I'm guessing it's a big rail bit and the ship will move. And then it lands, and then they swing off together into the treetops to go from one end to the other of quite a slightly larger map. Map did look a lot more fleshed out off into the distances, so could be great. I'm assuming it'll be multiplayer or single player story then, so you get the option. I'm hoping it's not story and then play online with your mates in empty areas collecting. It looked like they were playing the campaign together, so that's always great, and I really appreciate anybody going over and checking out Windlands 2 at www.windlands2.com. Easy enough to remember, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it was Windlands, and then I typed it in, and it didn't work. I was like, that's confusing. It's definitely their website, and then I realised they've added a 2, which is just really confusing if you're going to look for Windlands 1, because it doesn't exist anymore.
Nope. They closed it down.
It's all gone. But Ultra Wings is another one who I contacted, and they said, I asked them if they were working on multiplayer at any point, and they said that they are. They're going to be doing that for Ultra Wings 2. And Ultra Wings 2 is going to have a larger map. It's going to have more planes, and it looks like going to be some more weaponry. I don't know if they're going to do a storyline, but again, guesswork. But I feel like fairly well-informed guesswork. There's going to be some racing involved, plane racing, maybe stunt planes. I think they've gotten the idea that maybe we need a mountain to go up and down.
Okay.
You know, I think that's good. So that all looks superb, and I really hope that everyone keeps their eye out for them, because the moment those come out, everyone should buy them. Those developers need the money. They deserve the cash.
So they're little games they do, because
Windlands is amazing.
Games were little games that pulled off big things.
They did. Windlands, like, I'm always singing its praise, but it was the first game that I finished on this channel, and it was a mind fuck at the time. I had no idea what I was getting myself in for, really. I just bought it and thought, oh, he's swinging around, it could be good. I've seen it being played on PC, it didn't look great. Then you step into it in VR, and it just melts you. You just go, this is just wonderful. Every noise, every experience, all the colours. It's such a wonderful place to just, it's like being in a pillow. It's like being wrapped up in a nice warm VR blanket. It's just like, don't worry if you fall, there's no health bar, everything's all soft. Everything looks like it was made in Little Big Planet. Like it's all made of cloth. All the trees, this was perfectly round. This is lovely, and I'm swinging, and this is actually really nicely designed. There's a level in that which is all made of broken up airships and broken airboats.
Yeah, I remember.
I think that's probably where Windlands 2 is going. I think they're going to try and tie the two together.
Someone saw that and went, hang on, can't we use them for...
Yeah, can we use those in the next one and pretend that they're not crashed? I think that would be their best plan. So there's a lot to look forward to. Other than that, I think that's basically all of the games out of the way. So remember, if you have a comment, question or suggestion for a topic that you want us to talk about, head over to youtube.com/sofa and leave us a comment, or better still, subscribe and show your love. We also encourage you and each other to play nice, and to be nice in the comments and nice on other people's comments, because again, I really hate how vile the internet is sometimes. If there's something you don't like me, I don't like lots of things, but
I don't like that.
I don't like this. It's fine. Just ignore it. You don't have to answer to everything. But if you do like something, say it, because too many people see things that they don't like and they're so vocal about it. The people that really put the work in don't get what they deserve, and there are so many good channels out there and good game developers that are really putting the work in, and for the tiniest mistake they get so much hate.
Yeah.
And if there's somebody you like, go and find them on Twitter and tell them and support them, because it will really make their day, as your support makes our day. And so our last segment reader mail,
Yeah.
which always makes me happy, and so we'll just move straight on to it. You talk for a second, because I have to find them.
So yes,
I have to find where we put it.
on the desktop.
Not on the desktop. Oh, it is on the desktop. What are they doing on the desktop?
Because you put it on the
I
desktop.
put them on the desktop. I did that. There we go. So, on to our amazing commenters of the people, you yourselves at home. And we've got quite a few. We've been busy the last few weeks, haven't we?
Yeah, we have.
In the time that we haven't done a podcast because we've been so busy and life has been a nightmare. On the channel, actually, we have some news. We have some new soundproofing in our studio of a room. Do we not?
We have one door.
We have one extra door so that we can talk and be slightly louder and do the podcast and the VR stuff a little bit better with a bit more confidence that we can get the audio right, because balancing it was hard. But
Yeah.
now that we've got a little bit less echo, it's certainly easier to do.
Yep.
Anyway, on to the comments themselves. First one from Gameplate, who says, honestly, you need more subs. The intro is great and the quality of the video is amazing. You're also very good at commentary. Also, please can you play Doom VFR? And the answer is yes, when we have the money spare. When gas,
Maybe
and
when there's a
electric
sale
and
on.
food and get other VR games and internet and time that's needed to actually record 4 hours of a day and then edit it all, to actually then get out and buy a game is a nightmare, let alone getting the cash together. So yes, it will probably be on the channel at some point. It will probably be when it comes down to a sale. But thank you very much for your support as always. Wonderful to have you. Dark Kirby, who says great video friend. Great video from Tasmo. Who else? Oh, DJ Bullet Speed. He says, by far, what is your favourite VR game? And I'd honestly say at the moment that's probably Resident Evil. I'd say it's Resident Evil. What about you? What's your V? He didn't name us. Skyrim. See there, but I feel bad saying those though, because they're such iconic games already. If it wasn't them in VR, what would it be? If it wasn't either of those two, because for me the best game
Right, are we
in VR.
talking? So if I say, for example, the VR X-Wing mission, would you class that as a game or an experience?
If that's your favourite thing,
No,
you've done
what's our criteria? Are we talking full-fledged games like Skyrim,
that's what I mean.
or is it?
He said, "What was your favourite? What was your favourite game?" But if you include that as your favourite thing, then that's it.
I did enjoy the VR mission, X-Wing VR mission.
See, I would really struggle to pick between Windlands and I want to say World War Toons, but I haven't played it in ages, and it never seemed. I don't know if it's ever coming back. It's disappeared and it just hasn't returned. But their Twitter seems fairly active. They like making models. There's lots of models popping up that they're getting made. I don't see much word on the game being fixed. I don't know if it's being fixed either, or if it's just down on purpose and they're doing more, and then it'll come out good proper like. But still, yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. So that would probably be my favourite. What else do we have? Chaz Coombs says, oh my god, this is brilliant, looks like so much fun, and that's on the Mario Kart VR.
Well, I'm
which
going
is just
to
Kart
other
VR. I
people
shouldn't
have-
say that. It's not Mario Kart, is
No.
it? It's Kart. Just Kart VR, but it's nigh identical.
It is. And I'm glad that other people find it fun as well.
It is a good game, because a lot of people do like a good driving game.
Yeah.
I mean, admittedly, I want to get Rally VR, Dirt Rally VR. Apparently that's very, very good and is much better than Drive Club, because I really like Drive Club. Maybe we'll get that again. Might get around to doing that on the channel, and maybe I'll compare Drive Club and Dirt Rally, because they're very similar from what I've heard, but I just can't decide, and we already had Drive Club, so we can always revert back on that and try and do some more driving games, but we will see. That's certainly something to keep your eye out for
That's
on the
something
channel.
you can do. For the
That's something
channel.
I can. Well, you can do one. We can try and race each other. Again, I wish that Kart VR had a ghost in it, so that once you'd set a time, your mate could have a go and race your ghost. Because you can't do multiplayer, but racing ghosts is, I mean, it's the next best thing in a racing game. It's not too bad, but it doesn't have that, and that's
No.
really easy. That's such a missed opportunity. Next one from T Matt, who says, love all your videos, but love Skyrim the most. Extremely that's a strong word. Thank you. What an honour.
What feelings you have.
What strong feelings. Extremely entertaining and humorous. Thank you. I try very hard in my Skyrim videos, being in character and all, well, I say in character, trying a little bit to stay in character and also playing Skyrim in a way that doesn't get me killed every 30 seconds. It's actually quite difficult because I'm only level 11, level 12, 13, but because of videos need to be entertaining, it's like, oh, I must do something in the next half an hour. I will go to a cave. But you're still level 11 and you haven't healed and you've only just left this other building where that woman tried to kill you. No, I'm recording. I must find someone interesting to show the viewers. So like, walk into a near-death experience again. So come back out, where's Lydia? It makes it a right nightmare to play, but it's fun and it's good for the viewers.
I don't know what it is, but Lydia is the only companion that I've had where she does just go missing.
Well, other people have said that. They've gone, Lydia's always done that to me. But fear not, viewers and listeners, we will be getting rid of Lydia soon. We'll be getting down and dirty with Jazago. Dun dun dun. I'm a lizard, I can do what I like. DJ Bullet Speed again, actually, because he's got a good one here where he says, that quest where you need to talk to Lod is a quest to get a very cool Daedric artifact, which I didn't know. The guy in Falkreath. No, it says talk to Lod.
Yeah.
And it's like speak to Lod. He's at the.
Oh yeah, that's the I can't pronounce his name.
The Klingon. Is that what?
No.
Is that what that was?
No. Klikkus Vile.
What? Oh, Clavicus.
I can't say that.
Clavicus.
You know the Daedric I'm on about.
Yeah, that's what that is. I didn't realise. Okay, maybe when we go back to Falkreath and I've built my house, we'll sort that, because you've already told me that it's by the river, isn't it? So that's something to look forwards to. A little bit of a hint of what's to come in Skyrim.
But the rest is all up to you.
The rest is all up to you, because it's very true, because I have no idea what I'm going to do. It all comes down to what people say, because if people say stuff, I'll immediately go and do it, because what else am I here for? If I don't do as I'm told, I'm not really doing it correctly, am I? If you put YouTube channel together and people are giving you advice, you should follow it.
Yes.
Next down we have Del Byrne, says he really wants to try Ultra Wings, and my answer was, it's worth it, you should. Moving on. Matty Matt says, really enjoying this playthrough, and it's such an adventure to follow, and that's another one for Skyrim, which is just thank you. Really, thank you.
You need to get yourself into a meaty quest, though.
I am in a meaty quest. I'm doing the Mage's College, and after that I can move on and do.
It's taken you
once
the
I'm done
equivalent to 3 weeks to get back.
I don't want to fast travel. I'm playing it like a real person.
But still, it's taken you about 3 weeks to go from one end to another.
Well, this is what I was saying earlier. Is it's nice to play a game yourself and to just play it, and I can't do that when I'm recording. I haven't played Skyrim or Resident Evil or Ultra Wings. Or I played a bit of Windlands because I got that and that made me want to do a channel at all. Because I just thought, this is such a thing, I've got to tell people. And it got me through. Along with the IGN and the UK IGN podcast people and Kind of Funny Games, who have all done a huge amount watching them trying to get the confidence to the point where I was able to do this. And it's taken a year of practice, but I am really pleased that it's such an adventure and that everybody's enjoying it. So, good. Now the next one I was curious about because his name is difficult to say. His name is Fish Sticks. Yes. I thought he was a scam for a moment, because who has a name like that? But then I read his comment and it was nice. So I'm like, we're going to read it out. But Fish Sticks, he won't get me. So I love how this is a legit playthrough and not just funny moments and stuff. And he loves the series. And he did say and stuff, that wasn't me. That was a direct quote, alphabetum, and that was on the Skyrim videos as well. These are all really popular. Why are the Skyrim videos so popular? I'm not reading out anymore. Oh no, there's one down here from Resident Evil, and that's, I'm getting on the Oculus for my birthday instead of PSVR, what do you think? And I said no, because honestly, if you're running it off of a laptop, did you say it was a laptop? I'm thinking of getting it, Oculus for my birthday. I don't know, I think you're going to... No, I don't think he mentions it. If you've got a PC that can run it, I'd say get a Vive. Because the Oculus just doesn't match up to the Vive. I hate to say it as well, because
I have access to loads more games.
Yeah, I haven't really got a leg to stand on, because the PC we use is just not capable of doing anything VR related, other than getting.
It throws a paddy trying to connect to the internet.
It does throw a paddy. Well, that's our main problem, isn't it? But on that side of things, it's not so bad. But we could never run a peripheral of any kind.
No.
I mean, I was all over Google Cardboard for the 2 years running up to VR good and proper because I just wanted it, and how else was I supposed to get it? But the Oculus, genuinely, from a unbiased standpoint, if you don't want a PSVR, get a Vive. Don't get an Oculus. Oculus just doesn't have the same sort of lighting. They don't use the same LEDs in the screen. It's just not as high of a quality. And I've seen them and held them, and they just don't feel so good.
And also, from what I understand, you've actually physically got to go out and buy a new computer because they won't run on most computers.
Do they not? I don't know if that's true, but I will take your word for it.
But again, I admit I
you
could
might
be wrong.
Yeah, but if you've seen that somewhere, that's fair enough.
But I
Good for
remember
Relay.
them when they launched. They literally, when you need this £1,000 computer just to run it, and I'm thinking, well, PSVR, I can just plug it straight in.
Yeah, it's true. So I personally would say get a Vive. If you're going to get a computer and VR, get a Vive. You'll never look back. If you don't have that kind of cash, get a PSVR and be very happy with what you've bought because you've got something worth the same price, in my opinion. So that would be my honest answer. Next, or should I say finally, we get to read out the subs.
Wow, there's a few of them this week.
Quite a few subs. Some of them have got good names, including Fish Sticks, who was a sub last week. Don't laugh. It's my best attempt. I wanted to point out that Mac Hernandez, who's got a picture of Ren and Stimpy as his avatar, thumbs up from me. Ren and Stimpy is awesome. Xavier Challenges McDaniel. I mean, that's the name of him. He's great.
Sounds like a forgotten X-Men art.
Yeah, it does. Xavier Challenges McDaniel does. That does sound like a comic book. I could imagine I have two people looking really very angry at each other. But thank you very much. Welcome to the sofa to both of you. Got Dark Blood Star Gaming. I'm guessing that's another gaming channel, so thank you very much. Welcome to the sofa. Scott Whitehall, Lee Wiggins, Andrew Chillingworth, Fish Sticks, and the coolest of the cool, Dark Kirby. Dark Kirby 14.
Because the dark side is always cooler.
It is always cooler. All of you guys, as always, welcome to the sofa. Gameplate. Oh yeah, he left the comment at the beginning. Yay. ASAF Gaming IL. Weird name.
I think that's Asif, but I could be wrong.
Well, what's Asif? What is that? Do you know what that is?
Let
us know what your name means. I'm curious. And welcome to the sofa. And then we've got Yo Fat Lazy Mama, which it's all written as one word in capitals, so I nearly read that as Yo Fatsama. I nearly thought that was one word. Yo Fatsama. Is it Japanese? Oh no, it's slang. Welcome to the sofa. Russell Campbell, and then we've got Vale Ryan, Simon Appleton. Welcome to the sofa. Both of you have got quite cool pictures. Vale Ryan's is like a brain. I thought it was an explosion until this point. Maybe it's both. Is that a very clever picture of an explosion meant to be a brain? I think that's quite neat anyway.
Because there's a silhouette of like a head.
Oh, fair. Well, there you go. And last but not least, of course, we have Speedy Boy Gamer / Speedy Boy and Steve Orwell, who we might have included in the last podcast because I remember shouting out Steve Orwell. If I didn't shout him out, and I've just said it then that I did, and now he's sat there feeling, I don't feel wanted. You are wanted. You're all wanted. You should all feel very special.
But you say I remember Speedy Boy Gamer.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, then they both get 2 shout-outs, and they should be happy for it. That's what Reader Mail's here for. We're here to make you feel special. You make us feel special. It's only right that we make you feel good about yourself. So thank you very much for joining us this time. Is there anything left?
No, that I can think of.
I don't think there's anything left. And then that's it. Thank you very much for listening or having this video on in YouTube in the background. We do our best, and we do appreciate you choosing us to spend your time with. So until next time, please feel free to head down into the description if you want to download this as an audio file. I was asked if we're going to put this onto iTunes, to which I said no. I know it's free, and maybe down the line we will if enough people are that desperate, but honestly, I'm giving you the file. If you want to drag and drop that onto your phone, go for it. Do whatever you want with it. You've been given the file by us. You've got the full original file just as it is. You can hack it up if you want to and make us say bizarre sentences by rearranging words so that we say ridiculous things for your own amusement.
Be careful. people can work wonders
They can.
with a track of audio.
I shouldn't really tempt them. But you can do what you like with it then, because it's not saved in a weird format or locked into a podcast player or part of a YouTube video even, where you can't get it unless you want to nab it illegally. But I'm giving you the file, so head down into the description and click that. It is safe. I believe I'm hosting it, but it's hosted from my computer, so really there's no harm there. Unless you really don't want to, then just record it. I don't know, we don't care. As long as you're listening, it's all good. So thank you for joining us this time. Do go check out PlayStation Prospect as well. Their channel is incredible. The channel makes this channel work. I've watched them since I found them, and they really do he deserves all the work that deserves the credit for all the work he puts in getting the information on those videos for us to talk about. So without further ado, goodbye.
I'm off to go forge a deeper legend.
Are you? Yes, you should. And the rest of you should stay virtual. Take care.
Take care.